The Giga show has returned. Well, not quite. Giga Chikadze has definitely returned. The Giga show, I think, has yet to quite arrive at the station yet here against Alex Caceres. Now, context that we know now that we did not know while watching it, Alex Caceres broke his arm like with the first kick that Giga threw in the fight. So he was compromised for 15 minutes. So we could have seen this fight play out a plethora of different ways. Either way, conservative yet tactful performance by Giga for a 30-27 decision victory across the board. How did you see it?
It's hard not to debate the surgical and tactical performance Giga Chikadze has, but even in his ability to stay calm against an opponent who's throwing wild shit at you, smiling at you when he tags you, and an ability to stay calm, stay composed, and stay within your realm, you got to give Giga that. Sure, it wasn't the highlight performances he was seeing. I do think the speed of Caceres had Giga just a little bit faltered, a little bit on the second step, a little bit second guessing himself. But other than that, man, Giga looked like he's the real deal. Again, he's back, and I'm kind of glad he did have to go through a 15-minute battle of sorts to kind of really get himself back in, get his feet wet again, back on the octagon, get himself feeling where he needs to be. I don't debate this one either. As a Alex Caceres better, I was upset at the loss. But I do think, again, the right man wanted not as close of a fight as it could have been. But there were moments from both, man. It depends on how you're looking at who's more entertaining. And obviously, Giga did do a little bit more damage. It did have the bigger moments, but still very, very fun fight. What did you take away, Derek?
Yeah, I don't think that this was a debatable fight at all. I had it 29-27 for Giga, so 2-1 for Giga. I did not particularly see 30-27, but it makes sense because if you watch it back, man, Giga was kind of knocking him all around the cage, bro. Like, Caceres just couldn't quite handle the power. And that's the thing. Giga does pack pop. He's got speed. But Caceres, man, he's wild. He's a wild man. And now it makes sense because what I was ready to do was to come on here and say, once again, we see a guy with a very clear path to victory who did not follow the path whatsoever. But when you break your arm, it's kind of hard to grapple. So, ideally, you're not going to try to wrestle somebody up and do something like that. Best shot is try to hit him with something crazy they don't see coming, knock him out. But do you think that if Alex Caceres would have went a grappling route, that this fight could have played out differently?
Oh, 100%, Derek. Especially he crashes in on one of those big moves and then gets to the hips, takes him down, controls him. Even with the feints he was throwing where he was dropping him down just a little bit, changing levels, Giga was aware of it. So that thought was in his mind as well. It was the easiest path to actual victory for Caceres. I do think this would play out different if he was there. Do you think he's actually would be effective in that ground game? Because, we didn't get to see it at all, so.
I think Giga has an underrated grappling already, right? I just think that we needed to see it against a scrappy guy like Caceres. And I think more important than anything else is that Giga didn't really open up and show us what kind of the Giga show preview was until the last couple seconds of the fight, man. In the last 5 seconds, he throws a rolling thunder kick on Caceres. And I was like, okay, remember when he fought Jamal Emmers, right? He did that same type situation. Like, he was opening up. That's what we didn't quite see. But my main point about talking about this matchup through and through was that Alex Caceres, I felt like, was more of the type of talent that he should be equipped against right now. And we saw, even though it was a compromised Caceres, Chikadze caused the compromised nature, but he was able to get past him. But it wasn't like a landslide the way that I think a lot of people would have thought. I think people were thinking he's going to just starch Caceres in the first round. It's over. This dude's on a different level. But do you have confidence right now that if you gave Giga a top 10 guy instead of a 15-10 guy, that he would have very legitimate success here, or do we think we're still in that middle ground?
At this moment, still getting back from Giga's long break to have his first fight, and I still have a little bit of hesitation to send him into the dogs, especially the top 5. But give him in that top 10, I do think he is on track to be there. And skill-wise, he's already past there, but there's something about getting his mental right, getting something back in there where he is on the Giga show. Because you're right, we didn't see it till the last couple minutes or last couple seconds of the fight till he really felt like, okay, I can let loose now. When he has that ability at the beginning of the fight where he feels he can let loose and have the star power he once used to have, then I would be a lot more confident in throwing him to the dogs. What about you?
Listen, I think that you never know until it happens, right? Like, at the end of the day, we're going to see if he's ready once we put him up against the competition. But I do think that a kind of slowish climb back to that upper echelon is probably the best move. Big win for Giga Chikadze.